I think that we have a long history of commercializing innovative financing solutions, right? Whether it was the microfinance work where you had a lot of $50 loans to women in India and you aggregated those up together, or whether it was the tax equity structures, which were quite complicated in the United States context with tax equity, or whether it's contract for differences contracts in the UK and other places. I do think we're at a stage right now where a lot of things have been tested, but there just isn't a confidence level around the sponsor and moving confidently forward through building equipment, right? There's a lot of folks who want to pull something off the shelf, but they have to be viewed as credible to institutional investors, to government officials, to some of the players that actually need to help assist in making sure these projects move forward confidently. When you look at the traditional oil and gas business, they really run off of a unitary balance sheet. So they generally have equity and they have debt. So whereas when you look at the solar and wind industry, they really are a project finance business. So each individual project is financed separately from the corporate, right? And so that is an entirely different business model. And what you find is most of the institutional money is used to the solar and wind model, not the oil and gas model. And so right now there's a translation problem between the two players, but they're all energy players. So we're all one big family. But I think what you're going to find is that the two branches of the tree are going to start moving together, and you're going to start to see the oil and gas industry use a lot of the best practices of the solar and wind technologies. And you're seeing the solar and wind companies learn a lot from the oil and gas companies by getting some more of the profits from having short-term contracts and not just long-term contracts. So I think they're both learning from each other. Well, I do think that with the passing of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, CHIPS and Science, and the Inflation Reduction Act, today we have a policy framework that is in place providing certainty for 10 years. Now, people may not love it, and some people may like it a lot, but it is certainty, right? And so the real question now is, now that we have these policy mechanisms in place, who wants to participate in clean hydrogen, carbon sequestration and storage, nuclear power, right? I mean, all of these different technologies that we're looking at, the policy certainty is now there, right? Some people may love it, some people may think that it could have been done better, but I think it's there now, and you're seeing an extraordinary amount of capital formation, particularly in the United States, with this coming in, which I think is critical, because with that capital formation comes cost reduction. Right? The first projects are always more expensive, then the second, and then the 10th one, and the 20th one is cheaper. And once we get these technologies to be fully cost effective, we can then start to export these solutions to all of the countries around the world pursuing decarbonization. Dialogues like this one are just so critical because we, frankly, are all very busy. And so it's not often that we have uninterrupted time to really talk with our peers about all these very important issues. And frankly, my participation in these dialogues has led to a lot of insights, a lot of learning for me. And so I welcome the ability to participate in them and look forward to participating in them more. But I just think they're so crucial to clearing up misunderstandings and really figuring out exactly how we create work plans towards better solutions. The climate goals are a very tough problem to solve, right? If they were easy, we would have solved them by now. So I think many folks are struggling with exactly how we get there, but today we have way more tools, and you have really committed capital as well as corporate boards that I think are all in on solving the climate problem at speed and scale. So I think now we have a coordination problem, right? We have capital, we have expertise, and we have customers who want to deploy the solutions, but now we have to coordinate them to move faster.